Uh, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Let's do some again. Um, wow, wow. Uh, Brian Schottenheimer is the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't ever go live, but I had to go live here. I might even delete this later, depending on how I feel. I just got back from a Harlem Wizard game. Um, man, I'm speechless. But I kind of expected this. I expected for Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones to do this. I expected them to continue the longstanding tradition of hiring puppets. Ever since Jimmy left, it's been the puppet show. It's been Sesame Street. From Barry Switzer to Chan Gailey to Dave Campo. Bill Parcells was the only non-puppet, and as soon as he left, right on cue, Wade Phillips, and then Jason Garrett, and then Mike McCarthy. So I'm just not shocked that this happened. And guys, feel free to hop in the chat too. I'm gonna be on here maybe like in like 5 or 10 minutes. I'm not. This isn't gonna be a marathon. I just had to get on here and chop it up with y'all. Um, shout out to the over 140,000 subscribers. You know what I mean? Love you guys. Um, how do you guys feel about this? How do you guys feel about Brian Schottenheimer being the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys? Are y'all surprised? Are you shocked? Are you disgusted? Are you mad? I, if you ask me, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm despondent. You know what I mean? I'm just like this again. This is a continuation of what they've been doing. You know, um, I said this on episode 50, excuse me, episode 60 that just dropped to the You Go Boy podcast. Shout out to Mongo, love you, dog. I said this. I mean, if this hire proves to help CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, Tyler Smith, the Cowboys have a core in place. I believe a championship core. Um, if this hire is not meant to help that core, this is pointless. This is utterly pointless. You know what I mean? Like your core is everything. Teams they die for a core. They die for a quarterback, an elite receiver, an elite offensive lineman, an elite pass rusher. They kill for those type of things. Dallas has those things in place, but it's like coaching matters. Coaching matters, man. And when you're in a division now with Jalen Hurts and the way that the Eagles run the football with Saquon Barkley, with Jaden Daniels now, Dan Quinn has installed a culture over there. When you are in a division now, and again, the Giants are a quarterback and a game-changing draft away from getting themselves finally righted. Who knows? They might find their quarterback. They might find Jalen Milrow, or they might trade up for Cam Ward or Shador Sanders might fall to them. You know what I mean? Or Jackson Dart. You know what I mean? Or Quinn Ewers. There are quarterbacks that have some skill in this upcoming draft. So let's just say hypothetically speaking, the Giants find their quarterback and they start to get build off the pieces that they put together. You could very well find yourselves at the bottom of this division. You know what I mean? The NFC Championship is about to be played. Dallas isn't in it. They're now officially. This isn't even speculation. They're officially the worst team in the NFC over the past 3 decades. They're the only team to not appear in the NFC Championship game in the last 30 years. Even the Panthers have been to some NFC Championship games in that time. And for whatever reason, this is just going to continue. I'm going to give Schottenheimer a chance. I'm pessimistic about it, and I don't feel great about the hire, but I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna see what he has to offer and what exactly can he do with Dak. They made this hire for Dak. That part I'm actually happy about. I actually feel good about. Okay, you made this hire for Dak Prescott. All right, like he's familiar with Shotty. Um, Again, Schottenheimer was on the staff last season when Dak finished second in MVP voting. Should have won the MVP. He had a better statistical season than Lamar Jackson, but that's neither here nor there. You made this hire because you want to continue and allow Schottenheimer to elevate Dak. And Dak's familiar with him. And Dak advocated and caped for him as well. So it's not even a situation where like Dak didn't have any say whatsoever on this hire. He did. He did. You know what I mean? So it's just like I just feel like this move was made. This move was made, with Dak Prescott in mind. And that's the only thing I could take solace after. This offseason, though, is going to really tell the story. All right, because again, you did the soft rebuild, right? You did the soft rebuild. Everyone knew this was a soft rebuild. We saw that you did nothing in free agency. We saw you did nothing in terms of flipping switches and freeing up cap space. We saw that you went all in on the draft. We saw that this was a soft rebuild to reset. And we saw that the front office had really already philosophically moved on from Mike McCarthy. Now we want to see what was the soft rebuild for? Was it to set up this season to actually try? Is the front office with this new hire gonna actually try to compete and get back to the playoffs and get back into the NFC East race? Or are we beginning to see the domino effect, which is going to lead to not a soft rebuild, a full rebuild? And that's what I don't want. That's what I'm praying is not the case. I lived through and survived the Dave Campo years. I don't want to go back to that. I don't want 2 to 4 years from now, we're talking about moving off of trading away CeeDee Lamb and trading away Micah Parsons and trading away Dak and trading away assets to get a haul of draft picks to blow this up. I'm not even thinking of that. I'm not even putting that into existence. I'm not even speaking that into existence. What I'm saying is this Schottenheimer hiring, this is an important one. This might be the last coach that Dak Prescott has in Dallas. I mean, he's coming off of his second major leg injury in the last 5 years, and it's just like, yo, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Again, feel free to hop in the chat, guys. I'm not gonna be on here long. I don't really do live streaming like that. What I mean? I like the full episodes where I drop my pipe bombs with Mongo, but I just had to hop on here to just check the temperature. Got a new webcam. Shout out to Logi on Amazon. They hooked your boy up with a fire webcam. That's why I'm looking so crisp. You know what I mean? But I'm really interested to see where Dallas goes from here. What is the rest of the offseason going to look like? I'm hearing Matt Eberflus. Ed Warder just reported Matt Eberflus is the DC. This is another classic case of a really good coordinator and a really bad head coach. He was a disaster, and I mean, as a head coach of Chicago, but he was a good linebacker coach with us, and he was a good DC. So, that one I'm okay about that one. But the rest of this offseason is going to be interesting. It's really going to be interesting because the draft is coming up. Free agency is coming up first. Free agency is in March. The draft is in April. What is Dallas going to do to become a contender again? Because right now, they're one of the worst teams in the conference, arguably one of the worst teams in the league. I know they finished with the 12th pick in the draft. If it weren't for that, Fugazi win streak toward the end where they beat up a bunch of bad teams, Dallas will be picking in the top 5 right now. But they're a bad football team right now. And is Brian Schott? I almost said Marty. Is Brian Schottenheimer going to make the offense more dynamic? Is Brian Schottenheimer going to help clean up penalties? Is Brian Schottenheimer going to elevate the culture? Is Brian Schottenheimer going to make the Cowboys in the Super Bowl contenders? Only time will tell. Time will tell. What I know for a fact is is the front office going to continue to maximize their investment, which is Dak Prescott? Are they? Are they? You gave him $60 million a year. You gave him Brian Schottenheimer, a coach he advocated for. You gave him CeeDee Lamb. You know what I mean? He's re-signed long term. Micah's about to get re-signed long term. You know Tyler Smith, he's a multiple Pro Bowler. He's going to get re-signed long term. Jake Ferguson is going to get re-signed. I still believe in Baby Kelsey. That's what we call him on the You Go Boy podcast. Is this free agent class, are we going to go with bargain basement nonsense? Are we going to go with 1-year contracts for bodies? Are we going to get dudes? And come draft time, I love Will McClay, but you know, I mean, is the draft his last 2 drafts? The jury's out on Mozzie Smith. The jury is out on Tyler Guyton. You know what I mean? This is a big draft class. This is a big free agency class. This is a big off season for the Cowboys in terms of where they're going to be for the next 2 to 3 years. It just is, because right now you're looking up at everybody except the Giants. The only team they're unequivocally better than right now are the Giants. That's the only team Dallas in the division. Right now, they're not better than Washington, even though they beat Washington with Cooper Rush, and they're not better than Philadelphia. They're just not. Their coaching isn't better. Their roster isn't better. They have the better quarterback. Dak Prescott's still better than Jalen Hurts. No, but James Daniels, I can't unequivocally say that Dak is better than James Daniels right now. I can't say that. Not when James Daniels has been somewhere Dak has never been, NFC Championship game. I can't say that. I can't. And there's no Cowboy fan that's honest, that's a realist, that's going to say the same thing. We're not going to, again, there's no delusion here. That's what ESPN and that's where Fox, that's a big reason why I started, let me get my logo. There's a big reason why I started the You Go Boy podcast to begin with. You know what I mean? I started this podcast and I started this YouTube channel to try to inject some honesty and some facts and some truth into this metaverse of nonsense and foolishness that national media and a lot of content creators, they just continue to spew that, yo, Cowboy fans are delusional. You know what I mean? Stephen A. Smith is a good actor. He's a really good actor, but he's probably a closet Cowboy fan. In fact, he admitted that he was a Cowboy fan back in the 90s on an episode of First Take way back when. You know what I mean? He could deny that, but that's facts. But you know what I mean? I'm really interested to see what this offseason is going to look like for Dallas. I am. I'm interested to see what this offseason is going to look like. This is very important to the Dak era. You know what I mean? This very well could be the fourth quarter of the Dak era. And, you know, I'm rooting for him. I've been a Dak fan ever since Mississippi State. When he had Mississippi State as the number 1 team in the country, I was like, yo, who's that mobile kid in Mississippi State that's balling like that? And then when he went to Dallas, and then you guys saw what he did his rookie year in 2016. You know, the haters can't take that away from him. They can't. He went blow for blow with Aaron Rodgers, a first ballot Hall of Famer. And if not for a Walt Disney throw, Dallas would have been in the NFC Championship game. He would have been exactly where James Daniels is now, his rookie year, if it weren't for Aaron Rodgers and that magical throw. You know what I mean? And, you know, I'm rooting for Dak to, again, stay healthy, to pick up where he left off last season, you know, finishing second in MVP voting, being a second-team All-Pro, putting up crazy numbers, him locked in with CeeDee Lamb. You know what I mean? Go get Ashton Genty. Go get Genty. I mean, go draft Genty. Fix the run game. Fix the offensive line. You know what I mean? Get CeeDee Lamb a running mate. You know what I mean? Michael Gallup's retired and Amari Cooper's in Buffalo. You know what I mean? It's CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, kinda, and then a bunch of guys that should be in the UFL right now. Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks. Come on, man. You know, Kevontae Turpin, they finally figured out how to use him, but man, I want to see the Cowboys attack this offseason in a very intentional manner to go with this hiring. If you tell me, if they knock it out the ballpark in the draft, if they actually are players in free agency, if they go out and get some dudes, I'll be like, all right, let's rock and roll. Let's see what you got, Shotty. You know what I mean? I refuse to be the doom and gloom guy. I'm never gonna be that. I'm never gonna be the guy that's like, yo, doesn't even matter. You know, I might joke in a couple group chats that I'm already on to 2026 and 2027. I'm a Dallas fan. You know what I mean? Let's see what they got. You know what I mean? Let's see what Shotty has. Let's see what Eberflus has. Let's see what we do in all season to try to get some dudes and get back in the race. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it's not looking good right now. It's not. It's not. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? Like, comment, subscribe, share. Check out the You Go Boy podcast. We're shooting episode 60, probably shooting that one virtually because I'm still on tour with the world famous Harlem Wizards. And my tour schedule is getting crazy. You know what I mean? I'm probably not going to be in studio again until probably mid-February. So we're going to have probably some virtual episodes coming up with me and Mongo. Definitely we'll have one after, either before or after the Super Bowl. Hopefully we'll have one before and after the Super Bowl. But we have some episodes coming. We have new episodes of the You Go Boy podcast on the way. Keep on tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. You know what I mean? Again, myself, Mongo, Bravery Studios, Marv, Steve on the boards. We're going to continue to give you guys that grade A Perico, the real, the best of the best, unfiltered, authentic conversations. We're going to give you guys nothing but that. All right. So you don't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? It's a new year and it's just the same OGs. The podcast turns 3 on June 9th. Again, we love you guys for locking in with us. I'll try to do more lives. I don't like going live, but you know, I told myself I was gonna add some more bells and whistles to the pod this year and to the channel. So I'll be going live from time to time more often, you know what I mean? And to go with the episodes, to go with the shorts, to go with the reels. You know, you guys have blown us up on TikTok, blown us up on Instagram. We had one video that went over that's over 1 million views. The video I dropped about Dak Prescott on Instagram at the beginning of the season is over 1 million views by itself, one reel by itself. So when people ask, yo, do people even watch your podcast? I'm like, yeah, a lot of people watch the podcast. You know what I mean? So I love you guys. I really do. I had no idea the pod was going to turn into what it's turned into, you know, but, you know, you guys rock with it. You guys rock with me. You rock with Mongo. You rock with the unfiltered, authentic conversation. We're giving you sports talk. We're talking to the best of the best in all areas and career paths. But you know, this stream's about the Dallas Cowboys, about Brian Schottenheimer, and you know, we'll see what's next. We'll see what's next for the boys, man. You know, I'll probably do another stream after the Super Bowl, maybe before the Super Bowl. Who knows? But I'll do more streams this year. I promise. I'll do more streams. I will. Hey, shout out my boy Sus. Sus, love you, dog. Love you, dog. And my boy Sus hopped in the chat real quick. You know, yeah, man. You know, I just I just want Cowboy fans to to just you know what I mean, just you know, ride it out, thug it out, man. You know, it's a new coach, it's a new day. You know, Mike McCarthy was not the answer. We knew that unequivocally. He was not the answer after that Green Bay playoff loss, after both of those San Francisco 49er playoff losses. McCarthy wasn't the answer, man. Maybe if this was 2010 with him and the Packers, maybe. But nah, man. This wasn't he wasn't the guy. And we're gonna find out if Schottenheimer is. We're gonna find out if Brian Schottenheimer is the answer. You know, I see a couple likes. I see the 4 people that tuned in. You know what I mean? Shout out to Sus. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in with your boy. I'm gonna stay on here a little bit longer. You know, if you guys got questions, yo, Sus, you got a question for me, dog? If you still there? If you got a question for me before I hop off, you know what I mean? I'm gonna probably play some MLB The Show or stream something on Netflix. I'm on tour with the Wizards, so that's why my schedule is crazy right now, man. I just want to continue to give you guys content, though. You guys will continue to get clips and reels and shorts from the podcast daily. Shout out to Opus Clips. You know what I mean? I got clips and reels and shorts coming to y'all on a daily basis, 2 or 3 at a time on all the digital platforms, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. You guys are going to see me and Mongo yakking it up about sports, about football, about the playoffs, about the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? And shout out to All Things Covered. Shout out to All Things Covered. Okay, so Seth's got a question, my man Seth. As a casual football fan, why is Stephen A. Smith so antagonistic against the Cowboys? All right, that's a very easy question, Seth. Love you too, dog. I owe you you don't drink, so I owe you a seltzer water or whatever. Stephen A. Smith is an actor, right? Like I actually worked on the Stephen A. Smith. It used to be called No Mercy. Then it became the Stephen A. Smith podcast or the Stephen A. Smith show, whatever. Shout out to my boy Greg. I used to work on his show, and Stephen A. Smith is an actor. All right, he understands that he works for ESPN, the biggest brand in sports media, and the Dallas Cowboy demographic, the Dallas Cowboy fan base, the Dallas Cowboy brand is super polarizing. So what he does is he goes out of his way on his show, First Take, on his podcast, in his spare time on social media to troll Cowboy fans because they're going to give him the most engagement. All right. He is not a Dallas Cowboy hater. In fact, honestly, he's a Cowboy fan. He admitted on his show on First Take that in the 90s, he loved the Cowboys. He said that. And if he wants to lie, I could go on YouTube somewhere. Matter of fact, I'm going to find it. I will find that clip where he admitted he was a Cowboy fan in the 90s. So all Stephen A. Smith is doing is just nothing new. All he's doing is just feeding the beast, getting the clicks, getting the engagement, talking about the Dallas Cowboys so he can stay in the algorithm of everybody. You know what I mean? The more he talks about them, the more he hates on them, the more he trolls them, the more he makes memes about them, the more his name is in people's algorithms and the more visible he is. But he's just an actor. He's a TV guy. You know, there's a difference between sports entertainment and sports journalism. He used to be a journalist. He's a sports entertainer now. He's no different than Vince McMahon, minus a scandal. He's no different than CM Punk or Roman Reigns or Hulk Hogan or Chris Jericho. Insert wrestling personality. He all he is a professional troll. You know what I mean? Who just it's all about clicks. He could care less about if he has no he has no insight into the Cowboys whatsoever. And Jerry Jones just feeds into it because Jerry Jones actually went on his podcast right before Dak Prescott signed his contract. So I know that was long-winded, but that's the answer to your question, man. Stephen A. Smith's an actor. He's an actor. That's all. He just does it for play. That's all. You know, so I'm gonna get up on here. I'll get out of here pretty soon, man. But you know, again, big shout out. Thank everybody that tuned into the stream. Again, I'm gonna do more. Keep your eye out for more episodes of the You Go Boy podcast. Yes, new episodes are on the way. Virtual episodes on the way. Live on location episodes are on the way this year. Yes, they will. We will do more episodes. We had Joe Beningo from The Fan. Shout out my boy Sus. I love you, dog. We had Joe Beningo on the show twice. We just had Jake Osman from ESPN New York. He was just a guest on episode 60. Make sure y'all check that out. The clips are already out. The episode is out already doing crazy numbers on all the platforms. You know what I mean? So we're going to keep giving you guys that real. So keep on coming back. Keep on coming back, man. You know, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And as I always say, it's like a Hakuna Matata, man. It means no worries. Yahtzee. Peace. Love y'all.